Okay, good evening and welcome to our first meeting of June. And if you stand with me, I'll lead us in invocation and respect to the flag be given by Councilman Calhoun. Please rise. Let's pray. We thank you for this meeting. We thank you for this body of elected officials as they go about the works of making good policy for our city. As always, we ask that you protect members of our team as they face outward toward our public and keep them safe and away from harm. We ask all these things in your name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So the minutes of our May 18th meeting were distributed. Are there any corrections or additions to those minutes?
Make the motion to approve the minutes.
First by Mr. Newton.
Second.
Second by Mr. Harbin. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes of May 18th pass unanimously. We've got 3 items of old business, and the first item is request second reading of ordinance 26-09 to rezone 1502 and 1504 East Greenville Street from NC Neighborhood Commercial to GC General Commercial. Mr. McEwen.
Thank you. We do have some additional information on this. Mr. Maurice McKenzie, our Planning Development Director, will present that to you.
Thank you. This request came to you at your May 18th meeting. You considered it on first reading, but last week the applicant contacted us and requested to withdraw the request, so it is no longer on the agenda. No action is required by the City Council tonight, but that project has stopped.
Thank you, sir. We'll go ahead and move on to the next agenda item, since that one.
Correct. Mr. McKenzie, does that mean the application could come back to us at a later time, or they just withdraw it?
They withdrew
completely?
it, so if it is closed, it is not.
So if they did, they just have to go back to a first and second reading again?
That's correct. They would have to reapply.
Okay.
Any other questions? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
you're fine.
Yep.
Thank you.
Our second item is request second reading of ordinance 26-10 to rezone 1200 South Tower Street from LI Light Industrial to RM10 multifamily residential. Mr. McEwen.
Thank you. And Mr. McKenzie will cover this item as well on second reading.
Thanks. Again, yeah, this is coming to you for second reading. You heard this at your May 18th meeting as well. And just a quick recap, the applicant wishes to rezone the property from LI to RM10 in order to bring the existing single-family house into zoning compliance and also have the ability to subdivide the lot so they can build an additional house. The property is over 16,000 square feet in size, so if it is rezoned, they will have an opportunity to subdivide it and also construct a single-family house. The comprehensive plan trends in that area of being residential in this South Tower Street area. In fact, past couple of years, we've seen some new residential development in that area. So we are recommending approval of this. This did go before the Planning Commission, and they recommended approval as well. Again, this is coming to you tonight on second reading.
Thank you. Any other additional questions from our last meeting?
Mr. Mayor, I recommend approval on the file meeting.
First by Dr. Thompson.
Second.
Second by Mr. Harbin. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes unanimously. Thank you. Our third item of old business is request second reading of ordinance 26-08, adopting the budget for the fiscal year of 2026-2027. Mr. McEwen.
Yes, second reading on the budget. In accordance with the general statutes of the state of South Carolina, the City Council is required to adopt a balanced annual budget ordinance prior to July the 1st. The city's annual budget serves as both a policy framework and a financial plan. While the budget provides a comprehensive 12-month financial outlook, it is developed within the context of the city's ongoing 5-year budgeting model. The proposed budget was reviewed with City Council during the council retreat and again the April 27th work session. A public hearing on the proposed budget was held on May the 18th, 2026, and no comments were received from those in attendance. Administration recommends the approval of Ordinance 2608, adopting the budget for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2027, for a total budget for all funds of $94.234 million on second and final reading.
Thank you, sir. We've gone through the budget process. We went through the first reading. Are there any additional comments, questions? Mr. Stewart?
Mr. McEwen, with adopting this budget, does that dictate how additional budget line items will be billed to city taxpayers? Say, for instance, the addition of our sanitation fee being put on to the water bill. I know I've had some conversations with our county auditor about possibly putting that off, taking that off the water bill, putting it on the tax bill, and I know they're open to that, and just don't know if this is the time that we talk about that as a council, or is that a policy after the budget is approved?
Sure, great question. Thank you for that. The budget ordinance in this case does not change anything as far as the billing. So in the case, the billing would remain the same on the water, sewer, utilities bill. I will say, did look at it because Councilman Stewart, you gave me a call about this item here, that we would not be able to transition to it for the actual 2026 tax year. We would not be able to incorporate into that tax bill, and we would need to look ahead to the 2027 year to do so for the timing. They require that they receive everything by August, and there are some pros and there are some cons to doing so on the sanitation fee on the bill, the tax bill itself. We can talk about that now, Mr. Mayor, or the main reason, Mr. Stewart, for the transition, the time frame that's required there is that the carts are not linked to the TMS tax map number, and so we would need to actually build that full database out and do that, and then actually transition that and be able to provide that to the county for their billing on the tax bills. We would not be able to do that for the 2026 tax year bill, but I think it's worth a conversation for that and the stormwater fee, maybe for 2027.
Did I understand, you said you talked to,
John Binka.
you had a meeting with John Binka?
I spoke with him on the telephone and asked him would that be a possibility, and also, what's the other gentleman's name?
Jason Phillips?
Jason
That's
Phillips.
who you
John
told me?
spoke with Jason. They do it for another municipality right now, the city of Easley, and said that they think that that's something that they could do if that's so elected by the city council to do so. I'm just, my thing is, has always been, we're raising up fees that goes onto your water bill and your utility bill for, a lot of senior citizens, $10 or $15 may not mean a lot to us, but it could be a lot for senior citizens and, or, people who just can't afford it. And if you pay your water bill and you can't pay that sanitation fee, then your water gets cut off. And I just don't want to, see that happen. And, and at least if it goes on the tax bill, it gets passed along to the property owner. If it's a rental property, a lot of people in my district, they rent. So that'll be passed on. That price won't go directly to the person who's renting the house. It'll be passed along to the actual property owner themselves who pay the taxes on the property. So I just...
I mean, we can open up for discussion. I guess my understanding, even I would assume that the landlord would pass that expense back on to more than likely, if you're looking at that most landlords would want
anything that probably pass along, but again, if they don't, at least that person who's renting, they're not having to worry about, they can pay their water bill and not having to worry about, hey, I've got this fee on top of it. If I can't make it this month, my water gets cut off.
Dr. Thompson?
I would just say that's not relevant to this particular budget we're passing now. Is that what you're saying, David? That would not be relevant to this particular.
Correct,
Yeah.
because we would not be able to
Yeah.
administratively
For discussion
change
later
that.
on for the next year, for the next budget year,
The next taxable year, 2027.
2027.
When would the deadline for that be?
So that'd be August of 2027, right?
So it might be something that would be appropriate to revisit for the next budget year, because we
I
could
think that's what we're
incorporate that
saying.
discussion as part of that.
Everybody good with that?
I just want to make sure that staff puts it on their calendar to truly revisit. I know we talk about things that's a year away, just don't want it to, get dropped on deaf ears and we don't think about it and then we're into another tax season.
No, definitely, I don't think we'll.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't aware you had that meeting until
No,
you,
I didn't say I
you
had a
told
meeting.
me.
I had a phone conversation.
A phone
About
conversation
the-
with John
About
Beeka.
possibly putting that on the tax bill.
How do they do it with, you say they do it with
With the
another
city of,
city?
yeah, do it with the city of Easley, and when you and I spoke, Mr. City Manager, you said you think that would be great, because we have a hard enough time collecting, we could add on the stormwater fee, because we as, administration have a hard time collecting stormwater fees as it is, so you thought it would be a, good idea if we could look at that.
The stormwater fee, but I do not believe that for the sanitation fee. That would not be my recommendation.
Good.
What?
So we're good to talk about this for the next fiscal year?
Yeah, look at both
Sure.
of them, not just the stormwater fee, but, the sanitation fee as well.
Everybody good with that?
Yep.
Good. Any other questions as regards to this year's budget? Ms. Newton?
This is nothing important. On section 2, where it talks about the levy of taxes, it's spelled out 116, but I know that's prior to us rolling back the millage with the 109. It has the 109 in parentheses, but I'm assuming that just carried over from old documentation.
Yeah, so it will, yeah, the current millage, is 109.
Yeah.
And so it'll say 109, and, as a reference, in 1983, we're at 127 mils. In 1998, we were at 2022, we're at 116 mils. 2008, we're at 127 mils. In 2022, we're at 116. And then it was reduced in 2023 to 109, where it remains today.
Reassessment will be again next year.
Reassessments next year.
2027. Yep. Ms. Stewart?
Just like that, just ask one more thing, because this sanitation fees really, give me a little heartaches. As we look at raising it this year and raising it again in next year's budget to try to get up to 75% of what, I guess, the actual general fund expenditure is, or we're not adding a little bit, because what is that gonna take us, 5 years down the road? We're gonna be back at supplementing 75% of it again, or how does that going to look 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road? Because I think that's what got us in the predicament, is where we're at now. We just didn't do anything about it for a long time. And I say we as a council, and is to look at it. And so now we're up to doubling the fees and then raising it again, the same dollar amount the following year. So, what do we do to prevent us from getting back into that same rut again?
Well, the model that we built out to show you we're moving to 50%, $5, 50% cost recovery, included 3% escalation cost built into it, and then included for the next year too to get us a 75% recovery cost of just O&M. And I didn't include the capital, and that was the presentation we provided. You would get back in that situation, and that's why you see so many budgets of cities continuing to raise their rate every year to keep up with 100% recovery. I know the city of Greenville just passed theirs; they just raised it again. We sit at the lowest in the state at the current rate that we have for our service charge for this item. As you saw, there were cities that go all the way up to above $24, $25 a month.
Is it like, was it the city of Greenville, some of them like they go up at least $1 every year to try to
Yes,
keep up with it?
They do, yeah.
That.
They made some drastic changes to move that direction about 10 years ago, and then they keeping up to make sure they're getting full cost recovery on that. And I think they went up $1 again this proposed budget year with that they just adopted. That's what I read.
So after next year, we're just gonna take a pause until it bites us in the butt, or are we just gonna keep, what's our overall?
Wouldn't that be?
That's a council conversation,
be
if
a-
you want to get to
maybe
100%
retreat
recovery or not.
conversation that we would have to go through like we do every year on, I would assume at some point in time, we would have to look at other fees and rates that we charge people in different
the enterprise funds and the other funds that we have.
Yeah, Mayor Mike, my recollection of that, I guess those conversations we had was, and that was one of the reasons for, saying essentially rip the Band-Aid off and get back to where we need to get so that in the future, because I don't think anybody likes raising it at the rate we've had to over the next 2 years, but, in 2 years, maybe we can revisit and tie it to, a 2 or 3% every year increase, because then you're looking at, instead of going up $5, that'd be 30 to 45 cents.
Yeah,
I think that's much, easier to swallow for everybody up here, to keep us in line with, paying the 75% for the sanitation.
That's my memory of it. I think we were unanimous in that when we did make that recommendation.
Yeah, and Mayor, if I may add, these rate increases include that 3% inflation yearly, correct?
Yes.
So we're not losing ground, we're.
You're gaining ground, because that model that we built out to the 50% and the next step 75% cost
Yeah, but
recovery
that's not.
included the 3%
Right, including
cost
the 3%
escalation.
increase.
Mhm.
Anything else? Mr. Harvey?
Mr. Mayor, excuse me, I was just gonna say, since I've been on council, we've tried to keep up, or just make a dent in the reliance on the general fund to subsidize, the sanitation, and, I don't know if we'll ever get to 100% of the recovery. Don't know if we, should shift that way, but it's something that, we look at, and I just want to thank Ms. Martin and her staff for, the diligence working on this budget and being responsible of the taxpayers' taxes that they pay. And with that, I'd like to make a motion to approve it.
Second.
First by Mr. Harvey and second by Mr. Newton. Further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It passes unanimously on the second and final reading. Good job, guys. Good work. Good questions. We have 4 items of new business. And the first item is request consideration of an ordinance rezone 504 South Fenton Street from limited office to NC neighborhood commercial. Mr. McEwen.
The Planning Commission considered this at the request of their June 2nd meeting and recommended approval to you. This comes to you on first reading. Mr. McKenzie.
Thanks. The applicant is requesting to rezone the property 504 South Fant Street and an adjacent lot from LO limited office to neighborhood commercial in order to open up a bakery. The LO zoning district does not allow retail restaurants, so that's the reason for the request, because neighborhood commercial currently allows restaurants and also includes bakeries. And just a little bit of info about the applicant. They currently use the city's shared kitchen to make their product. They're selling out of a temporary location, but they now want to have a permanent home for their bakery, so this is the reason for the request. St. John's Church owns the property, but if the property is rezoned, the applicant intends to buy the 2 lots. The city's future land use map and the comprehensive plan does show this area as being commercial. And as you know, we're also undergoing a zoning ordinance change, zoning map change. And looking at that map, although it's not approved yet, the draft of it shows this area being zoned neighborhood commercial in the future. As you know, we've been talking about it through the process, but the LO and NC districts are going to be blended together with different conditions, just handled a different way. But again, if everything goes through, this property will be zoned neighborhood commercial in a few months. But the applicant, instead of waiting for that to happen organically, they would like to go ahead and get this property rezoned so they can start with the purchasing process and getting their plans ready and everything else. But if it is rezoned, the building obviously is vacant. It hasn't been occupied in a while, so there's some code-related issues, some site-related issues. So if it is rezoned, they would be required to submit building plans, site plans, to bring everything into today's regulations. But this did go before the Planning Commission last week. They did recommend approval of it, so it comes to you tonight for first reading. And the applicant is also in attendance if you have any specific questions.
Thank you. And you might have mentioned this too. It's historic district.
Yeah, I did
downtown
not,
historic.
thank you, but it is located in historic districts, so any exterior alterations to the site would be reviewed and approved by the BAR.
Thank you.
Yes.
Let's do this. Let's open up for questions. Questions, comments?
Question.
Ms. Stewart?
I know we talked about, you know, and I think it's a great idea, but I'm just concerned about egress and ingress coming in and out. Because I know if you're trying to leave, I don't think you can hardly turn too much right on South Fant Street to go towards Market. I think there's an island or something to go, you have to go down a little bit way. So would all the traffic be exiting onto East River Street? Would that be the traffic flow? Do we even know that yet, or?
We don't know that yet. Both River Street and Fant are state roads, so as we go through that process, the DOT, could have some involvement in that as well. As you know, the property's was built a long time ago, so you have curb cuts that may not meet today's standards. But again, all of those things will be reviewed as part of the plan review process.
Yeah, I know when that building brought was there years ago, they wasn't even I guess, a continuing island that goes around is just a four-way stop sign, a four-way
Yeah.
intersection
Yes,
there.
sir.
But now you got traffic coming from East River, continuing on Fant, and again, everybody don't stay on the inside lane when they come around. They come over here, but you're gonna have to go down to the end of the property here just to miss that in between those two medians right there, if you wanted to go that way. So I would see that traffic's gonna have to actually probably come out onto East River Street. I don't know, I just.
Just
like-
thank you,
may take
good
a-
points, but you will look at that during the site plan review process.
It'll come back before us?
No, sir.
Oh, you said we will?
No, we as staff will review that during the site plan process.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Mr. McKenzie, I know someone has hit the existing sign and it's a mess right now.
It is.
And I know the applicant will have to go through a whole new sign application and landscape review.
That's right.
Right now, it's all concreted, apparently.
That's right. It mostly is. Again, this does include an adjacent lot behind it, which is mostly grass. But again, you're right. We have new landscaping requirements, sign regulations. So all of that would be subject to this site.
And in our comprehensive plan, this was identified as a catalyst site
Mhm.
and trending to commercial.
Yes, sir.
So I'm completely in favor of it.
Ms. Pickens?
First off, was there any phone calls or questions with the signs being out?
We received a couple of phone calls just inquiring, hey, what's the request about? But no one spoke in favor or denial of it.
And Councilman Roberts' question about the signage, in riding by there's also a light pole that's broken on there. Is that the city's problem, Department of
We'll have to look
Transportation?
into that a little closer, but again, all of that will be looked at as we go through the site plan review process, as Mr. Stewart mentioned, with ingress, egress, just to flow through the parking lot. We'll just have to look at all those items.
Okay.
You talking about the power pole?
Yeah.
Yeah, not ours, but, they're upgrading the light signal. I think you've
It
seen that
was.
work
It's
ongoing
now a
there,
big
too.
metal one.
And then I think Duke will come and remove their pole.
Okay.
Anything else, guys?
Make a motion we approve.
First by Mr. Steele, second by Mr. Horgan. Further discussion?
Just real quick, this was originally a gas station,
I was gonna ask the historian.
then a
what was it?
florist, then empty.
Yes, sir. That's
Gas
what
station?
we know of it as.
Yeah, that was before my time, Mr. Harvey. You were looking at me?
No, I mean, I just
No.
remember it
It
as
was
a
a gas
gas
station.
station.
I do believe the tanks have been removed.
Good. Any further questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes unanimously. The next item is request consideration of an ordinance for a clean water state revolving fund loan for the Rocky River and Generosity Creek wastewater treatment plant improvement project. Ms. McEwen.
Okay, this rides off our capital planning, our modeling, our project budget. So we talked about this project and the next two items that are underneath it, B3 and B4. This sets up the financing for those two projects. There's really two different projects, but we're gonna do them at the same time. And so this is the financing portion of that, pursuing the Clean Water State Revolving Fund loan. And CFO Martin Martin has worked with our bond counsel on this to put this together, along with the state administration to put this together for financing. Ms. Martin.
Thank you. Yes, so this request seeks council's approval for the debt ordinance necessary to secure the funding through the State Water Pollution Control Revolving Fund, which we call the SRF. On March 9th, City Council did approve submission of an application to them for the potential low-interest financing for two projects. One is the replacement of the floating, can't say that word, digester lid at the Rocky River wastewater treatment plant. Scott can explain it to you better. And then the second one is to upgrade the supervisory control and data acquisition systems at both treatment plants. The current interest rate is 2.6. The estimated annual debt service payments will be $215,361 for a 20-year term, with payments beginning in July of 2027. The debt service payments will be funded by the sewer fund. So staff requests approval on first reading of an ordinance authorizing this financing through the South Carolina Water Pollution Control Revolving Fund loan not to exceed $3,350,341 on first reading.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. Questions, comments? Mr. Roberts?
Ms. Martin, when you do the math, we've agreed not to exceed the loan amount of $3,350,000 roughly. But when you combine the cost of the two projects, it's a little over $3 million.
Oh, we are getting reimbursed for engineering costs that we are currently incurring. It's going to be part of the loan.
So the engineering's in addition to the construction?
Right, so it's not to exceed that amount, includes engineering of about $216,000.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Mr. Horvath?
Ms. Martin, so the 2.6 interest rate, how long is that? So when we pass this on first and second reading, that's locked in rate?
It's a locked-in rate because it goes to 2.9 July 1.
Okay, that's what I would assume it was going north instead of south.
So that's what Scott and I have been working on, getting this passed in time.
So with that, Mr. Mayor, I'd make a motion to approve this.
Time is of the essence. First by Mr. Harbin, second by Mr. Steele. Any further questions?
I think I
Mr. Stewart?
just saw a general comment in there. I think it says that this is a 20-year loan, but the usefulness of this system is projected to be it lasts for 30 years. We got to replace it again, so we have a 10-year window in there.
Yes, the SRF administrator, it's easier and quicker to get a loan for 20 years than 30 years. You have other studies, other requirements, other engineering, so it's more cost effective in the long run to do 20 years. But yes, the value, the estimated life is about 30. But Scott can go over the details, but B3 and B4, the actual, how he's going to spend this money.
All right, thank you.
Good. Any other questions on that one? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That passes unanimously. The third item is request consideration of a contract to replace a digester lid at the Rocky River wastewater treatment plant. Ms. McEwen?
Okay, I feel like we talked about this item quite a lot over the years as we planned for it, done the engineering. We actually had structural engineers take a look at it, remove the top, set it to the side, take a look at the best way to correct the issue, which was that it was twisting and going up. It was the only one that we had that was doing that instead of floating just straight up and down. So the original engineer got a little fancy with this one, and we're trying to keep it simple and just it float straight up and down. With that, Mr. Scott Banks, our utility director and engineer, will go over this item for you.
Good evening. Yes, as a reminder, and as we kind of talked about, the secondary digester number 2 lid is no longer operable, and as was mentioned, for whatever reason, the other 3 go straight up and down. This one goes up and down with a twist, and Generosity Creek's is similar configuration, but after multiple repair attempts, though, and that were not successful. The best determination was to a new one. This one wasn't be able to be repaired. It will be a new one that will go straight up and down just like the others. And to kind of go back to your earlier question as far as lifespan, the other three have been on at both plants, and even the one that Twist at Generosity, it's been at least since 2008, and we don't see anything happening to those, so we should get even more than 30 years as long as we maintain them properly. But unfortunately, this one's been an issue for quite a while. But moving along, we advertised the project, and we had a non-mandatory pre-bid meeting on April 29th. And then we had a bid, we had 7 representatives from different companies there. On 27th, we took bids. The parent low bid was Cove Utility of Easley, South Carolina at $2,061,000. As mentioned, this would be funded through the state revolving loan fund, and the staff is recommending approval of contract with Cove Utility in the amount of $2,061,000 plus a 10% contingency of $206,100 for a total of $2,267,100.
Thank you, sir. Questions, comments? We never know what we're talking about. So we trust you.
I got
Ms.
so
Pickens.
the useful life of these was about 30 years, and you stated we have 3 at this location.
We have 4 total digesters at both locations.
Okay.
And like I said, these have been, all of them, but this one have been doing well, and we think we'll continue to do well. So I think we'll get more than 30, but if we maintain them and everything, because they're basically just a steel structure that floats up and down on the gas.
Well, my question or suggestion is to make sure that we have them in a kind of a rotation to make sure that we're not having to fix all of them at the same time.
No, we inspect them regularly and do maintenance repairs as needed. Like I said, the problem with the cost is just they're such large structures. They're not complicated. There's not a lot of.
No, and jokingly, I think we had somewhat of a workshop a couple of years ago out at one of the plants, and it'd probably be good for you to go out there to see exactly. And I think the water, once it's treated, is good enough to drink, right? Is that correct? Greg, did you drink some of it?
No, I
You did?
didn't go out.
You didn't go out?
Before my time.
We'll take you to
Before my time.
We'll take your word for it.
Yeah, we're going to be doing onboarding with Mr. Pickens, and I'll get you a ride along as well on that one. But yeah, by law, you can drink it when it's in the plant.
Good. Good questions. Any other questions, comments?
With that, I'll just make a motion we approve.
First by Mr. Pickens, second by Dr. Thompson. Further discussion?
Just real quick,
Ms. Roberts?
just point of comment, or actually just clarity, Cove Utility?
Yes, sir. They've done several projects of this size and technique. They are actually a spinoff of Harper Construction.
Okay.
I'm sure you've heard of Harper.
They're doing some work for us now, aren't they?
Sir?
Harper, they're doing some work for us now, or maybe the county, they're doing some work?
They're doing some for county, and they have done work previously for us.
Right. Okay.
Any other questions, comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Our last item of new business is request consideration of a contract for the replacement of supervisor controlled and data acquisition SCADA system at the Rocky River and Generosity Creek wastewater treatment plant. Ms. McEwen?
All right, SCADA is a fancy word for a computer that controls the plants. And so also provides a monitoring system for our operators. Mr. Banks.
Yes, sir, thank you. As he said, it's just a fancy name for the control system. Both plants are nearly 20 years old, and as you might expect, computer stuff that's 20 years old, it's already on its last leg. So as part of the SRF loan, we're planning to replace both systems at the plants. And And as part of the evaluation process, excuse me, let me back up here. A portion of the funds from the SRF loan associated with digester lid replacement project was allocated to the SCADA upgrades in each plant. In 2025, after experiencing some performance issues and support issues from the SCADA contractor that we had at the time, were utilizing at the time, we decided to issue a request for qualifications to identify a qualified SCADA vendor to assist with future projects. Because similar to an engineering on-call, you don't want to be, every time you have to do something with SCADA, you don't want to have to be going out for, you want somebody that's been working on your system that you can go to and utilize them. So as part of that evaluation process, the proposed upgrades for the plant SCADA system were used as a benchmark project to compare vendor qualifications and proposals. Following the review, Southern Flow Incorporated was selected as the city's SCADA integrator. So as part of that, like I said, it would be funded through the state revolving fund loan, and staff is recommending approval of the contract with Southern Flow Incorporated in the amount of $751,841.
Thank you. Questions?
Where's Southern Flow out of?
Sir?
Where's Southern Flow from?
They are in Georgia, right outside of Atlanta.
Any other questions, comments?
Made the motion to approve. Second.
First by Mr. Newton, second by Mr. John Roberts.
I have a question before we vote. You know, you hear and read about bad actors hacking into water and sewer systems and, you know, just causing all sorts of havoc. But is there any sort of built-in
Yes, sir.
cybersecurity for this system?
We have everything secured, but we also have an air gap, meaning for somebody to log on outside of our system, we have to plug in. So if we needed, like say we need Southern Flow to come and check something remotely, they would plug in, or our IT folks would go and do the physical connection so they could log in, and then it would be removed. So we can't hit it from the outside, I guess you could.
Good question. Any other questions, comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It passes unanimously. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
First by Dr. Thompson, second by Mr. Steele. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We stand